Hi there, and welcome to today's episode of Promo Perspectives. My name is Nicole Cook, and I'm your host for the day. And I am joined by a very special guest, Alok from PPAI. And today he is going to walk us through a 2026 forecast and tell us the things and trends that we need to know heading into the new year. So welcome, Alok. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and telling everybody a little bit about what you do at PPAI.
Thanks, Nicole. It's great to be here with the SAGE community. I head the research and public affairs at PPI. My role is to connect the dots between the data, policy, and whatever happens inside the promo firms. And yes, we'll keep this practical, focused on what you can act on, not just what you can analyze. I'll promise that.
Yeah. Yes. And I gave you a teaser earlier, but we had a lot of interest in today's episode, so I won't take up any more time to get into it. I know everybody is excited to hear about how the economy and things like that are going to shape promo in 2026. So with that, the first question I'll ask you is, what is your current outlook for the U.S. economy specifically heading into 2026? And how are you seeing that that's planning to impact the promo industry?
I would call it steady but cautious. Inflation is sitting near 2.9%. GDP growth is around 2.5 to 2.8%. The consumer spending is holding up as per the recent reports. So the base economy is stable. For promo, our latest data for September, the shows the industry is growing by 0.7%, slightly better than the last cycle, which was 0.4%, but still below the inflation. So that means we are technically growing, but not real ground. Gaining real ground after costs. So let me go one layer deep. Nearly 60% of suppliers report revenue growth, but mostly it's modest and often enough to offset inflation. So about 1 in 4 are seeing declines, mostly tied up to delayed or canceled projects or orders. So it's not about the demand problem. It's confidence and the margin problem. So the sentiment that we hear from both from suppliers and distributors are the same. We are busy, but not profitable enough. In other words, on papers, industry is steady, but uncertainty is quite taxing everybody's decision. So that's how I frame it.
Yes. And to that end, how can distributors and suppliers navigate the economic climate?
Two things that I can think of is visibility and velocity, because when I say that, let me describe this further. Distributors who have AI-driven quoting or CRM integration or using digital storefront are ready to seeing better margins because they're making the decisions faster. Suppliers need to double down on their pricing transparency and communication. Buyers are asking basically why promo can't match the e-commerce speed. When I say e-commerce, it's Amazon kind of speed, right? So about 30% of suppliers have reported PPI that they are requesting, they are getting rush orders and shorter lead times. And of course, distributors are also asking for Amazon kind of responsiveness. So this isn't a tech problem, actually. This is mostly open real-time collaboration between distributors and suppliers is the only way that I can see that, both pricing integrity and end buyers trust.
Yep, that makes sense. The transparency, I think you said, is going to be very key navigating moving forward. So I love that point that you touched on. I want to talk a little bit about industry data and other buyers' trends. Based on your most recent data, what categories or product types are you seeing the strongest growth heading into 2026?
We just finished a consumer study and it's going to be released in December magazines or PPI. But, what we are seeing from the reports or from the consumer study that we did with 5,000 plus consumers across US, The Power 4 dominates, that is apparels, the wearable identity. The second one is drinkware. It's a part of our daily rituals. And then the tech signals the innovation as we head into 2026. The fourth one is the eco products. It's a new baseline expectation. So these four can make up to 50 to 60% of total buyers' demand. And our consumer study shows that 83% of recipient keep promo products for 6 months or more. So the ROI continues to outperform other digital ads. Let me clarify this. A $15 product can yield half a year of brand exposure for less than a penny per impression.
Wow.
Again, the $15 reusable drinkware now delivers 6 months of brand visibility. That's less than a penny impression. So
Yeah.
I want to reiterate that, that's what the value of promo brings onto the table.
Yeah, that's when you put the numbers in like that, it really kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? So I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit. You touched on it, but so from what you're seeing, it sounds like there's a kind of an expectation now towards sustainability and product ethics. Is that kind of in line with what you've been seeing lately?
Absolutely. I mean, it's growing, the sustainability. Like from the 2024 sales volume report for US alone in our country, it's around 13 to 14%, if I'm correct, is
Wow.
sustainability product on shelves. But if you see Canada, where we are also supporting Canada from PPAI perspective, helping with their sales volume, we see it's more than that. It's around 17%. And when we are, communicating with international, and we are watching those numbers very closely, they are close to 20%.
Wow.
The reason is because the Europe, it's driven by compliance, same as with Canada. But in our country, US, it's predominantly driven by the end buyers. So end buyers ask for more compliance product, and especially the Fortune 500 companies. So they want it to be linked to the ESG goals of theirs as well. But let me tell you, the tariff is complicating this. Firms trying to source these from China often, no, I mean, they are trying to move away from China or any other country recently, are facing compliance gap elsewhere because they are looking for a new vendor, and then will be a compliance gap. So there has been issue with this, but this is one area which is growing for sure.
And then you also touched on this, but how do you see that technology is also influencing what buyers want, the tech piece in particular?
Yes, we have been closely watching the space. My background has been into AI consulting
awesome.
before joining PPI, so I can answer this better. 69%. I mean, AI is moving from a pilot to productivity. When I say that, it's people have already started using AI in different mechanisms, just not ChatGPT. It's about every software that we have embedded is coming out with their own kind of AI tools. So 69% of PPI 100 firms now use AI for quoting, mockups, order automation, and freeing up people for the other client works, basically the business optimizations. On the buyer side, 65% of distributors say client now expect personalization, like custom packing, even digital times like QR codes. It's simple, right? It's personalization is the easiest way to turn the order into an experience. And the data backs it as well. So whenever that we ask about personalization, a personalized product generate usually 30 to 40% higher recall than the generic ones.
Wow.
So that's where the future is, combining automation and personalization. So
Yeah, that's a great line. And then are you seeing any shifts into why end buyers are looking to promo? Like, is it marketing mix expansion? Are you seeing more in employee engagement? Is there any reason why people might be looking to promo these days?
absolutely. I think promo longer is no longer just an awareness. It's about engagement. It's about culture. Let me take one example. Like when we asked these questions recently to our distributors, so 56% of distributors said that they are seeing growth in the corporate internal programs like onboarding, recognition, retention. It's about employee pride as much as brand promotion. So one of the distributor also said that we won't sell swag, we sell belongings, is what he said. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah, that's what is carrying the industry right now. So it's moving, and we from PPI also have a lot of initiative under the new leadership, where we are working with our friends from the Retail Association, or we are working with American Marketing Association to create some awareness about what promo products are. It's just not swag; it's more than that.
I love that. What a mindset shift to say it's not selling swag, we're selling belongings. And that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about it has that staying power once people have that swag with them. I mean, I know we all do. We all have our drinkware, our t-shirts that we've had for a very long time that have some sort of branding on it. So that's awesome. I'm going to shift a little bit now into kind of policy and public affairs and things like that. So what legislation or regulatory issues should promo professionals be aware of going into 2026?
Love this topic. Okay, let me start where PPI advocacy is strong at, or we are focusing right now. First is tariff and trade. Easily the most destructive force in 2025. Every firm, irrespective, small or big, said that tariff is killing their predictability. Overnight changes makes pricing chaotic. And mandatory. I mean, we as an industry, we want some predictability in tariff schedule so that no more overnight rule changes. And we are also looking at tariff exceptions because one thing, a lot of people say that promo products are shipped from everything has been imported from other countries. I'll say a little more than that. Every industry gets product from one country or the other, and the personalization or the final product happens here, and the same thing with promo products as well. So we are looking very closely at, along with our lobbying partners at DC, to see if there is an exception way out, not for the entire promo products, but if there is a carve out for promo specific goods that can be produced domestically, and then we are going to pitch in. So we do have, we have a committee, we have an amazing team member. We all are tracking the space, and with the lobbying firm help, if there is an opportunity in coming days, we'll definitely ask for tariff exceptions. This is one. The second one is the compliance and PFAS. We are, as an industry, calling for federal harmonization, which is nothing but not 50 state rules having their own rules. PPI, PPI supports safer products at the same time, not at the cost of small businesses, because if they don't know, a product which has been manufactured in Texas, if they want to move this product move this product or sell this product in any other state and they don't know the local laws, they might end up being in a legal court, right? So we have been very, very cautious, and then we're trying to see how we can harmonize this, and we are pushing that as well. And the third one is workforce flexibility. Nearly 90%, I believe, distributor rep are independent contractors today in promo industry. So PPI supports the Modern Worker Empowerment Act to protect the model nationwide. And also, we were supposed to be at the Hill, the Capitol Hill next week, which got pushed because of the government shutdown. We earlier had this year earlier, we had a lead, which is Legislative Education and Action Day for people who don't know. We had people from all around the country, from regional associations and business. People who can go and talk. We had 100 different meetings, 100 people on the room, 100 different meetings in a couple of days, spreading awareness about what promo products are, our issues are, and everything. It was good. Now, it was a first for us and also for Rachel and all our team. And we want to take this forward to the next level. So our leadership and the board also wanted to do a second level lead, which was supposed to happen the next week, which is called Lead Echo, which is executive Capitol Hill outreach with 10 of our CEOs and C-level executive had nominated, and we had all issues and everything consolidated. But unfortunately, we had to move this because our government shut down, and then we are moving this to early next year. So, yeah, these are a very high level that I can think of.
But I know there's lots that's going on that side. And to similar train of thought, speaking of Washington, is there any thing coming out of Washington or state legislatures that could directly impact distributors or suppliers in 2026?
I can say the government shutdown delayed has several trade and small business initiatives pushing them to early 2026. The reciprocal tariff program may face Supreme Court review if it rules unconstitutional. It could trigger a massive refund program, though that's very uncertain. And there is a growing bipartisan talk about tariff carve-outs and goods that can be produced domestically. And we are looking at this space very closely, and we are also collaborating with our so-called PPAI super friends of other industry bodies as well. If that happens, our industry could see some relief. And saying this, I would love to say that, that we are seeing suppliers are holding up the pressure till now. Many have observed the cost delays. I know cost and delayed pricing updates. If nothing is changing by mid 2026, those costs will start flowing, downstream to distributors. So the next quarter or 6 months is critical.
Yeah. And this is a great time to plug PPAI, but where and how can companies stay informed in this space of any news that's developing?
Excellent questions. We do have Newslink, PPI Newslink, which gets published as a newsletter, which gets published every Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we do also have our Saturday newsletter, which you can also subscribe to that. But more or less, if you log into the ppi.org website, mostly that our teams are very well versed and they'll keep the news updated all the time. And you can also join Lead or Lead Echo. If you cannot join the Lead Echo, you can always participate remotely, and you can always raise your questions, queries, and it can reach out to us. We have an amazing committee, and then we'll discuss among the committee with the industry leaders, and we'll take all these things to the Capitol Hill with the help of our lobbying firm. Keep sharing your stories because real examples move policymakers more than data alone.
Yep, that's awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm going to wrap us up a little bit because I've seen some questions come through, and I'm going to make sure just so you know, everybody, if you've sent a question through, I've seen them. I'm going to get to them here in a minute. My last question for you is, or I guess I have a couple more questions, is if you could give one piece of advice going into 2026 for promo professionals, what would it be considering what we've discussed today?
I would say the firm that adapts faster to tariff, AI technologies, basically, and keep up the buyer's expectation will lead to the recovery. So that's all I think.
Yep. And then this one's more of just for fun, but is there any trend that you're watching personally as an indicator of where the industry is heading? Anything that you're personally interested in heading into the next year?
This is a good question, but not everybody agrees in the industry. But the average order value, which is up by 4% year on year, shows how smarter our end buyers are spending, but not necessarily more. So they might not be spending more, but the order quantity might be increasing, but not necessarily this way. The second one as well, I'm tracking one more, and the buyer's language. When client asks. When an end buyers basically starts asking about the impact and ROI instead of price, that's when the promo becomes truly marketing medium. So that's what I'm closely watching that space. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to open up some chats. I know I saw one that I think might have been answered, but just so that everybody, if they are not reading the chat, you mentioned earlier the number one category that you were seeing heading into 2026. Would you mind sharing that again?
Absolutely. I think that the number one is apparels for sure, all time. It's a wearable identity, different form of apparels. The second one is drinkware, the part of daily rituals. The third one is tech, which is kind of all tech products signaling innovation is what I say. The fourth one is all eco products are getting traction. They can, the sustainable products are getting traction. That is a new baseline. But these products, I mean, you'll see more as we slice and dice the data that we have got from consumer studies in the December magazine. So
Awesome. Thank you. And then to answer another question that came through the chat, yes, this has been recorded. We are going to publish this podcast to everywhere that you can hear your podcasts. It'll be live next week at 1 p.m. Central Time. So wherever you listen to your podcast, YouTube, you'll be able to find this recording there. I'm going to give a couple more seconds. If anybody has any other questions, we'll monitor the chat to see. I'll give everybody just a minute or two. I don't see anything coming in. So on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap up today. Thank you so much for these insights. One of my favorite parts about hosting these episodes is that I learned a lot myself. And I know that it was very impactful for everybody watching today too. And yes, we've already gotten some positive feedback in the chat on it today. So thank you again for your time. Thank you everybody else who's on the chat today listening. And we'll see you guys next time on the next installment of Promo Perspectives.
thank you so much.